Hello, everybody. Welcome to another bonus content episode here on Ringside Heat with our new look and our new two-person panel look, which I am very excited for. It is our AEW All Out 2024 review, and boy, do we have a lot to say. Jose Tabata at Tabata 93, Colin Dodge at Risen 72. We are not
Hi,
going to
guys.
waste. Hello, yes, we are not going to waste any time, of course, before we do start all our madness at Ringside_Heat on all our social media. Then, of course, follow us on Patreon. We're on Patreon now. Still getting used to this. There we go. We're on Patreon now, so support us. We've already dropped a few exclusive stuff already up on Patreon, so please go support us. And any and all support would be amazing. So here we are, ready to go for All Out. Colin and I last night watching AEW All Out. This past Saturday night, I should say. Excuse me. We are recording this the day after, but uploading this a couple of days later because we need to comment for the episodes. Episode 150 dropped.
We also had to compress what we saw. So you know what? Let's sleep and think about things that occurred.
Yes, so
results that happened and whatnot.
Yes. So I'm sure that I know today is Tuesday and we're uploading this now, but I think we may need to be a little bit mindful of scheduling because of the video episodes on Monday or pay-per-views on Saturday. So I think I need to talk with the guys and figure that out. But for now, here we are, finally getting to our All Out review. It was a show.
It was a show. It was a good show. It was 80% of a good show, and then the train fell off the tracks. But I think we should go in order.
Which is ironic because the All Out graphics all had to do with trains.
Well, I mean, it was in Chicago, and there was a mighty wind, and that's a movie reference for those who know. And it just, I know, Jose, I'm working on that list for you, buddy.
Well,
Chico as well. Chico is also very not watched a lot of movies that he should. Anyway, sidetracking because I don't want to get into it.
8 matches on the card, excluding the pre-show. We never talk about the pre-show because, well, it was there. 8 matches on the card. MJF took care of Daniel Garcia. Again, we're getting into our in-depth reviews as it go on. Let me run on the list first. Young Bucks retained their tag titles against Blackpool Combat Club, Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta. Will Ospreay, take care of Pac to retain the AEW International Championship. Chris Statlander defeated Willow Nightingale in by submission in a street fight. Okada took care of Briscoe, Cassidy, and Takeshita for the
Takeshita.
Takeshita.
That's okay.
To retain the AEW Continental Championship. The CEO, Miss Mercedes Mone, took care of Hikaru Shida to retain the TBS Championship. Bryan Danielson is still your AEW World Champion after he defeated Jack Perry. And then in the Lights Out Steel Cage match, aka it was unsanctioned, Hangman Page defeated Swerve Strickland. So that is your lineup. We're, of course, going to go through the entire card match by match. As usual with this structure, I'm going to be leading off or setting up Colin for the conversation, and then Colin will give his full thoughts as he's been more in depth with the stories. As I'm developing a habit to watch just the pay-per-views, which is fun because pay-per-views still do their recaps and catch you up and see what's going on, and then you can observe from that perspective. So let's start off with match number 1, MJF and Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia right off the gate, and I know that corner pile driver was such a topic of conversation. MJF won the match. By the way, that big MJF flag, the you're welcome, I think it's called. You're welcome, I think it said. I loved it. But it was after the match, I think, that had a lot of us talking because Daniel Garcia still pulled off that insane, dangerous corner pile driver from the top turnbuckle. That was it, right?
Because that's what put Daniel on the shelf last time when MJF did that to him. So it was the revenge kick.
So the low blows obviously hilarious, but dangerous pile drivers done safely. I think all in all, a very good opener. Colin.
Yeah, really great opening match. Chicago was definitely in for the show. I worried, of course, All In was not that long ago. It was 2 weeks ago, but it was that was the international show. it has been a minute since AEW did a show stateside. So the crowd, I believe they said it was sold out. It looks sold out.
It looks sold out,
everybody
yeah.
was there. Was at the Now Arena. They're there. The place was ready to have a great time. They did consistently throughout the night. We'll get to that. But it was, they were positive. They were in for it. Garcia, I've only seen a handful of his matches in AEW because I did, again, like many of the AEW stars, I had no idea they exist till AEW started. I think it's the best match I've seen him in. It's the most kind of, emotion and all that kind of thing. Like there was a story. It was his best storytelling in the match. Better than am I a professional wrestler or am I an entertainer when it was Jericho and Brian tugging at his wrestling soul, whatever the hell all that was. So this was definitely much better. Made a lot of sense. Pile drivers, watching the Attitude Era and all that kind of thing, Owen Stone Cold. I cringe when a pile driver happens, even when Undertaker does it, even though I only ever seen him do one bad one. Just ask Coco Beware. The one with Hogan doesn't count because, well, go look that up. Hogan's insane. Pile drivers. They're the ones where something easily can go wrong. But they both did the big nasty pile driver moves, and yes, it was safe and all that kind of stuff. But it takes away from my entertainment of it. But the match as a whole, the finish was great. The reason why that finish was done, I did some reading, was where it actually wrote MJ off for a while because he's going to be going to film a movie. So, Garcia still hasn't inked a new AEW deal. So
right, there's always talks about him jumping ship.
Maybe why not? I won't miss him, but I think wherever he lands, if he's dedicated, I'm sure something good will happen. So,
and I think he proved last night that he can be a great asset in entertainment.
Yeah,
he definitely helped again. Like you said, it was a great opener to the pay-per-view.
Yep.
So, if I think AEW kind of needs to realize, hey, maybe we should kind of like get the contract ready, but we'll see what happens in the next little while.
Maybe he'll excel in the WWE machine. It happens. We've seen plenty of wrestlers that do great in the WWE machine, do great out of the WWE machine. It all depends, right? Like everybody's an individual, so we'll find out how they work best. But great opening match, great story conclusion. It all made sense, and MJF is still the evil scumbag that he always told us he was. So but we boo him
now. What kind of movie is he filming?
That I didn't know. It was just like filming a movie. So
he's filming a movie.
IWC Hot Rumor kind of thing. Nothing like confirmed. Like it wasn't like Universal or something put.
Okay.
It was just like that's why he was written off, because they did. They did the neck brace exit and stuff after.
Of course, the traditional.
So the story, the story exit. So
he was on a stretcher, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. That was one of my comments later. Is like, how is Brian not on a stretcher?
That's why I'm asking that. I'm like, did they use up the one stretcher and just not?
They only had one stretcher. I thought AEW med department was like the best in the business, and they didn't have
they didn't have enough tokens.
Chicago.
Young Bucks. They retained their World Tag Team Championship. I don't know. What much do I say here? What more do I say here? It was an expected finish. Even you were telling me it was an expected finish. The match was the match was great. I mean, I'm not gonna say it wasn't bad.
No,
but I can't like. What more do I need to say aside from talking about like the regular details in the match that are said everywhere else? Like there's nothing really that kind of there's nothing else for me to comment on the results or the details of the match other than expected. Colin?
Yeah, I mean, they have to remind people that the tag team division exists, and that there are champions, and it's the evil faction that is the champion, so they have to show the evil faction has to be all over the card, which they were.
Oh yes.
All of the
yes.
all of the elite was on the card, and because of that, I was thinking, the Bucks are going to retain, Okada's going to retain, and I didn't think Perry would be getting the title just yet. So that's why I assumed, the Bucks would win. It was a good match. I mean, the Bucks always do a good match. Claudio and Yuta work really well together. Yuta still continues to get better. So that's good. How could you not if you're working with Claudio a lot and Brian? So I mean, it was a good match. All the hits. Claudio is a disgusting strength freak. He always looks impressive. Everything he does all the time. So I love Claudio. So I mean, it was good. It made sense. And
I mean, I'm really curious to see how his new role will how he will adapt to this new role after what happened at the end of the Bryan Danielson match with that heel turn. And again, we're gonna get into full depth of that later on, but I did love. I mean, for me, the bigger story with Claudio, and actually, no, I'll save it till we get there because that's a bigger story for me aside from the tag team loss. And plus, they're trios champions, so I mean, did I really expect them? Did I really expect them to hold the regular tag and the trios tag? I don't think so. That's just me.
Well, before you continue, one other thing I'll tag on with regards to the tag division. Grizzled Young Veterans made their debut at All In, and they've been showing up on AEW TV running roughshod and have called their shot and going after FTR and all that kind of thing, and already said they're going to take down the Bucks and get those tag titles. So they're a very much needed shot in the arm to the tag division right now because Lucha Brothers are gone. Well, at least they've been off TV, so they're getting time off. I don't think either of them are injured. I think they're both healthy right now. And, another hot rumor is that they're on their way to WWE.
The ship, yep.
Yeah. So, all of that. But anyway, like a top tag team is not there. Top Flight is starting to come up. You've got Private Party. They're starting to be on the rise again, but they're not at the championship level, I don't think just yet, or at least haven't been built that way, that strong. But when you've got, Grizzled Young Veterans, they're coming in now. It is the shot in the arm the tag division needs. So that's good. I think that's another reason why I get them on the pay-per-view. It's like, oh yeah, we do still have a tag division. It's not just FTR and the champs you forgot are champs. So, but yeah, so tag team I think is getting better, starting to get better anyway. So we'll see.
Will Ospreay, Pac. This was my favorite match of the night.
Your new favorite wrestler, Will Ospreay.
It's my new favorite. Look, I cannot believe
Assassin's Creed bringing families together.
I cannot believe I had no idea he was that big of an Assassin's Creed fan.
Aerial Assassin, his finisher is the Hidden Blade.
Look at the tattoo.
How, these are all your triggers. Your happy triggers.
Look at his tattoo. That's such a cool tattoo. The Assassin's Creed emblem with the wings.
Yeah, and that's been getting filled in since he debuted in AEW. It was an outline for the longest time. He's finally getting it completed and filled in. So
really,
oh yeah.
My favorite match of the night. I mean, look, aside from me finding out that Will Ospreay is an Assassin's Creed fan, he was just so good. But I have embraced him more, knowing the fandom. And there's a cool exclusive Assassin's Creed Shadows on the AEW shop, and I'm like so tempted to buy it, and I really need to save money.
I know. But you showed me a picture. It was sitting in your cart, and you were.
It was sitting in the cart. Love the match. These two can go back and forth. Maybe one or two more false finishes than I would have, but there was some wild sequences in the end, where the Hurricane Ranas that Pac was pulling off, and then those kickouts, and eventually
reversal after reversal, everybody landing on their feet.
I mean, look. If you're going to do false finishes, if you have to do them, that's definitely how you enhance it. I mean, obviously, I do agree with the Undertaker when he said on his podcast that finishers are not protected anymore.
Yes.
In today's day and age. And obviously, I think for either men, I think when you hit such a big move, like the Hidden Blade or whatever, or the reverse Hurricane Ranas that Pacs were doing, let that go to 3, protect it, let it happen. I think Okada's Rainmaker still fairly protected is it? I was gonna say for the most part, but
I don't think anybody kicked out of it.
Yeah, I don't think so far. And I mean, not, like, but just in
anyway,
general,
yeah.
like that's a move for Okada that still works, right? And
Yeah.
that's my worry with excessive false finishes.
Yes.
But again, I thought it worked here, and again, just like I think also as well, like they executed that so flawlessly, which also makes the false finishes work so well. It just the the hidden play, the kick out, the Hurricane Rana into their hidden blade or whatever it was, like so many sequences, but they all flowed so naturally.
That was my biggest positive surprise. Yeah.
That
The
like
flow.
okay, like when you do the false finish, how do you get out of it and then go into the next one? And it
Yeah.
just works so smoothly. It's like, damn. Obviously, selfishly, I still obviously I wish he was in WWE, but this style works so well for Ospreay in AEW. Like that is it's the right choice for him. It obviously was from day one, but this is just it continues to solidify that AEW was the right home for him without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Ospreay. Colin.
I mean, my continued fandom for Pac keeps getting proven over and over again how good he is. I mean, even when he was, the man that gravity forgot as Neville and all that kind of stuff, he was the only thing that Purple brand was worth watching. The cruiserweight division, that lovely purple belt way back in the day. And I mean, he's fantastic. They stood toe to toe together. It's like you could tell. It's like, okay, step one, part of the sequence. Okay, step two. Like there's always like a half beat when they go into the next one.
Yeah.
Like I mean, these guys were a video game. It was just one after that. They knew exactly what was happening. And you'd think they like rehearsed the entire match for months or something, the way it was executed.
Oh yeah, maybe not months, but obviously, there's obviously some talk like that. That's
but I mean, just how perfectly everything was hit. Like you think that was step by step.
But that said, not that I don't doubt that they can't call that on the spot, but if it was,
well, yeah, the level of both of them, right, is just insanely impressive. So
that's what I'm saying. So, I think it's funny you bring up half beats, and I feel like music guys like John, I think even they would appreciate that, like their steps, their beats, and when to execute the notes. And I feel like that's also can be a wrestling match. You're conducting a song in a sense, and you're going to be the conductor. 1, 2, 3, 4, reverse, hidden blade, slap, whatever. So it works out. So my favorite match of the night here, no doubt about it.
Definitely.
Yeah. If somebody wants to donate that Will Ospreay Assassin's Creed Shadow shirt to me, let me know, please. Immediately.
And the nice teaser with Ricochet immediately having a nice little conversation with Will, and Will's like, "Go ahead, get some wins under you and challenge for this belt." And Ricochet's like, "Yeah, I'm doing it." I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but still, it was nice. The tease was nice because they're
it's leading
friends
to it
in real life, kind of,
it's leading to it. No doubt in my mind it's gonna get there.
Yeah.
But oh man, I am still not sold on Ricochet's promos. Like he just kept repeating himself. Like it's like he didn't know what to do. Like you don't need to keep saying the same line 5 times. Like mix it. There's other lines to say, I'm coming for you. Get ready. Look out. I'm gonna start getting ready. I'm gonna defeat everybody. I'm coming for you.
I mean, we know there's no scripts in AEW, so he's got to learn to ad lib.
Oh my God, ad lib is an understatement. I
hope he'll get there. I mean, if Jack Perry can do it, anybody can do it, because Jack Perry was terrible. And not that he's delivering, monologues or anything right now, but he knows what his character is doing and he's delivering what he's saying properly. Right. So,
Now, I mean, again, this was Ricochet's big problem in WWE. He could perform in the ring. He was excellent. He can definitely get people talking. But once he starts talking himself, it's an instant, oh boy. And in that little stint with Ospreay, that was my concern right off the bat, because I'm going, oh boy, like there's still. I mean, it's not that I expected after a month away between WWE and then his AEW appearance. All of a sudden, he fixed it, right? But again, I'm going to the whole promo and I'm going, Ospreay's still miles ahead of you. Yes, you could maybe be on par with him in the ring, but overall, you're nowhere close. And I need to see improvement if I'm going to keep investing in watching these AEW pay-per-views, and if I'm going to keep like, commenting and quote unquote studying this, that's one aspect I need to see. I need to see that. I need to see Ricochet on par with the greats. It's been his biggest problem. I saw it again in that little moment with Ospreay. He needs to improve. But that's all I want to say on that.
He's got to do some online gaming or something, like play some, I don't know, Call of Duty or whatever, where like the nastiest people play and yell at each other online just to pick up some ad-libbing and some quick insults. And nothing that bad. I mean, I know AEW likes to swear a lot, but don't go crazy. But yeah, my little commentary on online gaming. There you go.
The Chicago Street Fight.
Okay.
Statlander defeated Willow Nightingale. That was I'll say this. Entertaining. It had its moments for sure.
Yep.
I think they I think they delivered in terms of what obviously was a gruesome night for AEW. The splits onto the tax. That was a spot. I don't want to comment any further.
I don't know if we should talk about this, but
I don't know if we're
qualified.
Yes, thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. Qualified to comment on it. The spear onto off the ramp onto the tables, brilliant. The tube lights, dangerous, or the light rods, dangerous.
In Chicago. Oh my.
The chains. I like the spot too. I think they worked out really well. Again, the women are not scared of blood, which is they definitely show that. I guess the right winner. From what it seems, I would presume that this is where that story ends.
Yeah,
right.
I don't know. Possibly a feud continues. I mean, there was no belt involved of any kind, so
you don't need a belt.
No, you didn't need one. But I think this is where now they can separate for a minute. One of them gets a belt of some kind. Anybody, please take something from Mercedes. Gets a belt of some kind, and then the feud can return. It's like, oh, you got the belt now. Let's fight some more. So
that works for me.
And these two do really well. Well documented. My view on street fights, especially AEW ones, boring as hell. I don't care. It takes way too long, especially when the cameras go to the back. There's two people doing stuff over here. There's two people. I don't know. I was mad that I already finished the dishes and cleaned my kitchen already. But to my surprise, this was paced really well. It didn't drag until the end. At some point, it's like, okay, let's do the finish already. But it paced really well. They stayed in and around the ring. They didn't go nuts and have to go smack somebody at a concession stand. So, they stayed close. Like all weapon use, I guess, more or less made sense and that kind of thing.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. It was the best street fight I've liked out of AEW, probably.
Interesting.
Because, the blood and guts and all that stuff and all those other ones, I didn't care. I did not care at all. Again, I know I'm not the main target market. I haven't been for a decade or so I'm fine with that. But this is what we talk about, what we like, not what we're supposed to like, because that doesn't matter. It's what we're entertained by. But yeah, so I really enjoyed it. I'm continually impressed with Willow. I liked Statlander for the longest time, especially her championship run and feud with Jade, the back and forth, Jade's farewell match with Statlander. That was a really good match. So I think Statlander's over. I think she's in a good gimmick right now. Stokely, his t-shirt just had logos of rappers. It was really interesting. I'm not sure if there's any more meaning than that. Then I don't know, maybe he's trying to look tough or something. Like I saw Wu-Tang and all that kind of thing. I'm like, wow, that's a Wu-Tang logo. I haven't seen that in a really long time. I'm like, okay. So, and he wasn't that involved in the match, so it was just really interesting. Stokely makes me laugh. But it's a good street fight. I was pleasantly surprised. Glad I didn't have dishes to do. It worked out.
I think you and I were saying that maybe it went a little too long, but I think
most do. Yeah.
I think even in that extra duration, I think it was fine.
It was still good. Yeah.
I think it was fine. Okay. The AEW Continental Championship, Okada retaining his title. Again, another fun little match in the Fatal 4-Way. I mean, Fatal 4-Ways are always so entertaining, left and right. They got the right winner. I think Colin and I, we were saying this when with the match going in, the expected elite retention across the board. I say retention because obviously not everybody on the elite walked away with wins, but
No.
For those with gold around their waist, this was, I think, what's expected, and it's Okada. It's this is what this may be a take, but this is what worries me about putting a title on Okada. It's when do you dethrone him, and when do you make him quote unquote look weak because he lost the title? Right now, again, AEW is on that road, but I know Okada will be fine for a while.
Now I'm trying to remember. After the fact, anybody feel free to correct me. I don't think the Elite have interfered in any of Okada's matches, and I'm trying to remember when he defeated Eddie Kingston for that Continental title.
That was in March in Toronto.
Yeah, and of course Eddie Kingston loses in Toronto. Oh, but anyway, I'm a huge Eddie Kingston fan. That his shirt is sitting in my cart, and I'm deciding whether or not to pull the trigger and just buy the damn thing. But anyway, so I don't know how long he's off. The last time we saw him, he still had the cast on his leg and all that kind of stuff. So he's post surgery or whatever it is that he needed to do. So he's in full rehab mode right now. So I don't know how soon at all he's coming back. Probably not even this year, to tell you the truth.
That bad? I didn't realize the extent of that.
I think it was an aggravated injury, but then the surgery that needed to happen. It's his knee or both knees or in and around the leg and all that kind of stuff. So it's a long rehab kind of thing, right? So I could see waiting till he's back and then get revenge on Okada. That's a big match, but again, it could be quite some time. So yeah, who do you send after the Continental? Would it be Orange Cassidy again? But that's dangerous where it becomes like only Hook should have the FTW championship. So
you don't want Cassidy to have
that. Yeah. So,
and I agree. I do agree with that.
So like you have to watch that as well. Has anybody else new been built up? No.
That's my little worry. Yeah, that's my worry. I don't want like these matches kind of thrown together. Yeah. Right? I mean, AEW, there wasn't no Continental Championship match because Okada was in the gauntlet. Right. So I mean, I think this is my issue with this pay-per-view being 2 weeks after All In, and I'm gonna say this for the Bryan Danielson match later on, but when they're this close, you can't really build. You're just throwing a pay-per-view together just to throw it together, and a lot of these individuals competed at All In as well, literally a month apart, and you're golden with this. Literally a month, maybe a third week. Go 3 weeks, not 2, and definitely not 1. I think it was last year was 1, was it not? Or 2? Oh, I can't remember.
No, it was the very next weekend.
Exactly.
So now I think next year it's going to be fixed because All In is in Texas next year
in July,
and I don't think because now the August show is Forbidden Door, I believe, in Sydney. So
something along those lines,
and that's in August. As for All Out, I don't think that's been picked yet, but I hope that's, if we're going to go by the pattern, then it's 3 weeks apart.
Regardless, it's a small nitpick. It is a small nitpick, but anyways.
Yeah. So the only other thing is maybe based on what happened later in the show, Pac versus Okada for that belt. That would be cool because maybe BCC's in belt collector mode at the moment while they're changing things.
Probably.
As we'll get into the possible continuity loophole that they may have stumbled across and forgotten about based on the things that happened. So yeah, anyway, fun match, a lot of great spots. Takeshita continuing to look like $1 million. He's getting scary good. I remember saying in the chat that we overtook from the rest of the ring crew last night. Yeah, Takeshita is definitely getting scary good. Takeshita and Okada, that would be amazing.
That was a nice little stare down. Was a nice stare down.
And so as Chicago was ready for that, I think, regular AEW watchers are ready for that. I'd be into that because Takeshita continues to look better and better. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and OC is OC. He did great. And Briscoe is Briscoe. He also did great. So it was fun. It was a good match.
Yeah, again, like not much I'd want to say about it. I'm just ready to keep going because again, I think it was what it was. Well, actually, oh boy, I think you're gonna want to wish that we had more to say on that fatal four-way because up next, Mercedes Mone,
Oh,
Hikaru Shida,
yeah,
the TBS Championship. Mone is still your TBS champion.
yeah,
I've said this. I know I've said this on many moons ago on Ringside Heat on our weekly episodes. I am a fan of Shida. I do
yep,
love Shida. I am the first time I saw her and I'm like, damn, you're good. I was a big
love
fan of
Shida.
this.
Yep,
I also wish that she won last night. Or
yep,
sorry, this past Saturday. That did not happen. Mone is still your TBS champion, and I think one of the biggest takeaways that we had, and I, I, I think I want to say this. I think we said this and All In 2 weeks ago, Colin.
yep,
That crowd once again started to drift away,
yeah.
which it's. I mean, again, if like I said, I'm gonna try to start watching AEW pay-per-views regular. The next one, Wrestle Dream. I'm gonna see if we're gonna if I'm able to watch it on the 12th of October. Oh boy. Oh boy. This crowd is not really being sold on
No,
Monet. Well, there was the 50-50, let's go Shida, CEO, let's go
I don't know.
Shida, CEO.
I'm thinking there's Goldberg chance shenanigans happening with that.
That crowd is so silent. And
Yeah,
I don't know if it's the crowd chanting, if the crowd is chanting on top of CEO, because that CEO in the theme is so blatantly loud and so there's a lot of reverb in the theme that I
yeah,
can't tell if it's the song itself or if that is the crowd providing that echoey effect. That's a very small nitpick. I'm just saying that
yeah.
the match was what it was. Again, I know I say this a lot, but there's really for me nothing special to say about this because it's just what these matches with Monet have been lately. I think, in my opinion,
Yeah.
Colin, I know you probably have more to say on that, but and I don't want to sound like maybe like an AEW negative or whatever. But
Mhm,
again,
mhm.
again, you're talking to somebody who's giving AEW a chance for content, to have conversations with Colin
Yep.
and this to me, it's like, yeah, I wish Sheeta won. I find Sheeta more entertaining and more personable. But again, there's a little bias in saying that. Colin?
Well, okay. First of all, with Hikaru Shida, she has gotten her flowers, for lack of a better turn of phrase. Um, she's a three-time AEW Women's World Champion. Incredible rivalry and matches with Britt Baker.
Absolutely.
So clearly is like the forefront of bringing the women's division to the top tier that it is, especially for the AEW World Belt. Um, like she's been recognized for that. We all know her for that. So, AEW hasn't done her dirty with that kind of thing. Like there's no
No,
burial happening or anything like that. So,
no.
like she's established. So, that's why we all still like her so much. And when you've got her, like even this latest kick, like it's the aggression, but not being a silly heel kind of thing. Like she's there to fight and kick everybody's head in,
For sure.
So yeah, and it's fantastic. So she continues to deliver, hasn't changed, hasn't gotten worse. Is great. So we all know that and all that kind of thing. So then obviously this is throwing everybody at her to get Mercedes like over that hill. And to what we briefly touched on earlier, maybe she needs the WWE machine. Maybe the absolute freewheeling feel it out, like it's gone are the days are people where it's the majority of the locker room like Stone Cold, Rock, Jericho, that can just go off. Shawn Michaels that can just talk and sound fantastic and keep to their all they need is the bullet points before they go out there.
Sure.
Not a full script kind of thing, right? And I think more and more, and now AEW is kind of bringing that mentality back, but there's ones that that is a definite learning curve. Jack Perry is on that learning curve. He's on the better positive learning part of that learning curve right now because he's doing better. But, that's a muscle I guess she didn't have to flex that much as Sasha Banks.
No.
Well, Mercedes Moné, you're out there. With Camille not at ringside, like the crowd didn't really have anybody to be angry at. They got bored. And it's like we all knew Shida's not going to get it because you're not going to bring this amazing acquisition and then take the belt from her this soon, right? So we know it's kind of like it's a match, but we all know what's going to happen. So it was just, and there wasn't enough in the match to keep everybody. I mean, she's becoming a cooler of the pay-per-view card.
Obviously they want to put her as a top talent, and I get it, because the name itself, and you know, the exit that she did with WWE, there's attraction to the name for sure, and to the person, I should say. But yes, it is a bit of a coolant, like you said, and it amazes me because I feel like she's still also, in a sense, somewhat the Sasha Banks character, to a certain point, I guess, to a certain degree. This is obviously, I think,
I
think
she's
it's
trying to turn it up to 11, but it's only 7.5.
maybe. I don't know how else to phrase it, but
I mean, just how good she did with Charlotte and all that kind of stuff. It's like, we know it's possible, but I mean, was her input that little? I mean, again, not knocking actual wrestling skills. This is all the other half of the equation,
character,
right?
yeah.
It's the character is the problem.
But even then, even that other half of the equation, also at times, a lot of people were kind of going, I don't know, in WWE, and I think it only popped off when she had that heel run with Bailey during the pandemic in the Thunderdome era, where this was quote unquote finally the Sasha that everybody wanted to see, and it's true. Because the whole hot potato reigns wasn't working for Sasha Banks. Then she gets her big heel moment, and then it's like, damn, this is what we want to see. But then all of a sudden in AEW, for some odd reason, it doesn't seem natural, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it's because, like, you know, if Bailey was great to kind of partner up with there. I don't want to resort to that, but it's looking back, I mean, like, it's now I'm like, as I'm thinking this and saying this out loud, it feels like it's kind of basically the same character.
It's hard to it's hard to pinpoint, because she also came back from like a bad injury, and I can never remember how soon you were watching, but like when Lita really had that bad injury back when, like, her and Trish were at their height for the women's title back then, like, she admits herself in interviews, she was not the same coming back after that neck injury and all that kind of thing. Like, the confidence was gone in the ring and that kind of stuff, right? Like,
2003, 2004,
in and around there. Yeah.
Because obviously 05, 06, she left in 06 or 07, and then in that those crunch years, she had the run with Edge. So
yeah, Edge, and then all the weird
was
Kane stuff, and
of course.
Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah, like, so, like, coming back from bad injury and things like that, that could change things. Now, does that apply to character work? I'm not sure. Maybe it's a confidence thing. I don't know. Like I said, like, her skills are as good as they ever were from what I've seen in the matches. It's just like the build up, the payoff, and like I was saying, it's almost like to be booked this strong heel type, but is like, you know, a whiny, petulant little child during the match. Like, it's like, which heel is it? Like, there's different kinds of heel to draw the heat, and it's almost like just trying like 4 different kind of things, and this mishmash is just not working, right? Yeah,
it feels like, there's definitely a feel of, okay, I need to see what sticks. The trash talk, I guess over. I don't know. Maybe we're being worked, and that's just a heel move. That's just the heelish work.
Hey, if that's the truth, I love it. Then that's great.
Fantastic.
You've taken me for a ride. That's what you're supposed to do. Maybe this is a long con. That would be good too. So
I don't know, but yes, I think regardless, and I feel like maybe a lot of people will agree that there's still work to be done there, and I don't know what, but I think it's just astounding, because I feel like it's not the Monet I think a lot of people may be expecting now. Obviously, there are fans of her, and that's fine. But
yeah,
there's to me, it feels like there's something missing, and I don't get it, and I don't get why. Because I don't think she deserves to be quote known as the coolant, the cool down. Because
you don't want that. No,
because we've seen how she can work. We've seen how she can, like, get, make something feel important and special. I mean, I can't forget the main event of WrestleMania 37, night 1 with Bianca Belair, right? Like that. I mean, I think that version of Sasha Banks goes to show that, yes, like, she can make it work. She can
Yeah.
definitely make it work. But
Yeah.
I digress. All right. Bryan Danielson.
Here we go. Okay.
Jack Perry.
Yes. Yes.
27 minutes. It is one of the longest matches of the night.
Didn't feel like that, to be honest.
It did not feel like that. No.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Elite had to have some sort of play there.
Oh, yeah, the ref bump. We all knew it was coming. Poor Bryce. He got smacked. Yeah.
My worry, I tried to get out of the mindset of, because now, and this was the disadvantage that we had recording our all-in review before the Dynamite, because our episode was released on Dynamite Day a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to go in with the mindset of, okay, Bryan is retaining. Bryan Danielson is retaining. It's obvious. It's gonna happen. There's no doubt in our minds that this is what it's gonna be. Right. So my mind went from get out of the obvious, get your head out of the obvious kayfabe storytelling, whatever, and just focus on the match itself. Just focus on the match itself. Just hope that it's entertaining and gets to the result the right way, or it's a fun journey to the obvious result. Mm-hmm. And I think it was. Which is saying a lot, because again, Jack Perry, obviously a thorn in a lot of people's eyes. Mm-hmm. And I think I've been proven that Jack Perry has bounced back from the whole all-in disaster of 2023.
The unpleasantness, yes.
Right. So this I'm kind of sold, and I'm going, okay, this is what I need. I don't need the whole over violent side of things like he did with Darby Allin.
Yeah.
That was, I think that was a fun, entertaining match. Obviously, he was going to interfere, yada yada yada. But it's after that really did not sit right with me. The Blackpool Combat Club coming out with Moxley. They helped out. Before that, the Kill Switch coming out to and then Christian coming out to tease the cash in of the Gauntlet contract.
So good.
Which in my mind, I'm going, okay, if they don't do this, I don't think they're going to do this. But there was still like maybe 5 or 10% of me going,
magma level heat on Christian. That's how he retires Bryan with not a money in the bank thing. Contract in hand.
Imagine that 2 weeks later, it's over. And that's what kept me from saying he's going to pull it off, right? It's like, only 2 weeks. It's only been 2 weeks. You don't have a 2-week Bryan Danielson reign. No. I thought it was a great tease, and obviously I guess now
the tease of a reunion between Luchasaurus and Jungle Jack Perry, like even for half a second, that was awesome. Like they had Chicago in the palm of their hands during all of that, and then the lineup between the Patriarchy and the BCC. Finally, Moxley is actually walking around with the BCC since he came back. He's just been running around beating everybody up with Marina Shafir. I think that's exactly her name. Mm-hmm. Which has been like, what's he going on about? Telling Tony Schiavone that this isn't his company anymore. What does that mean? Like he's being all cryptic and extra violent or extra intense. But he's standing with the BCC again. I'm like, okay, that's great. Oh, Pac is there. That's right, because they're all friends now because they're trios champions. So that's why Pac is still there. So that's fine. And then I'm absolutely fine with the heel turn. I wasn't offended by the weapon that was used, but I get it. It's intense. AEW has never said they're PG-13 and they're there for the kids. So it's not like all of a sudden Mickey Mouse is doing that to Pluto or something, Pluto. And, so it's like, I get it. I get why people don't like that. I know I'm horribly desensitized because of all my, our friendship, we've discovered that, the stuff that you don't like, I could go to sleep to. Like, it doesn't bother me at all. And so, but we have those kind of differences, right? So, and that's fine. Again,
it's fine. Yes.
Everybody's different. They have different things that trigger them and don't trigger them and whatever and all that kind of stuff. So I get it. So I'm not bothered by that. I'm pretty sure I saw, the thumb under the bag, under the chin. So he can breathe. It's fine.
Yeah, of course.
This is obviously he's not actually doing it. We all
know. Exactly. I think, mind you, with how long that he was under the bag.
But it's disturbing imagery. And
yes,
I understand that. Completely understand it.
Yeah. And that's where I want to go with this, with my part of the talk here. I don't find it entertaining. I understand that EW is an alternative, but when I think of the word alternative, I think of what Ospreay and Pac did. I think of those intense style of wrestling. That is the alternative because WWE doesn't showcase that as much as everybody wants, right? There's a reason why a lot of people love those love AEW matches and think every match is a 5-star match, right?
Right.
Not fun fact.
No, kind of.
It's
No
that's my alternative. That different style of wrestling that's more that's somehow more physical than WWE. Actually, I would say it is more physical than WWE. That they focuses on the technicality side of things. That is my definition of alternative for EW. The Claudio turn, fantastic. I thought that was a wonderful surprise.
The look on Brian's face, perfect sell.
It's funny. I was busy with other things, and then I hear the drop, and so I had like my all out on my monitor up top, on my television up top because I have 3 monitors at home.
Yeah.
So
you're in the Matrix. We know. Yeah.
I see Brian Danielson on the floor, and I'm going, holy crap! Did Claudio just do something? I kind of missed the uppercut, but. Even in the drop, I'm going, oh damn, like that's huge.
It's happening.
I'm like, damn, like Claudio's gonna be a heel. I'm all for it. I love the heel turn. And then I saw the plastic bag, and I'm like, there's only one thing you do with the plastic bag. Immediately, I knew what was coming. I'm like, what are you gonna do with the plastic bag? What are you gonna do with the plastic bag? Put his title in the bag and say it's mine now. No,
bag wasn't that big enough. Bag wasn't big enough for that.
I'm like, no. And I knew
it was head
coming.
sized. That's it. It was head sized.
And then once I saw the bag over that Brian Danielson, I'm going, oh, I was disturbed. Not offended, but I was disturbed. To me, I'm going, how is this an alternative? Why is this an alternative for everybody? Why do we need to get to show these images of that in-depth violence for the sake of television and say we're entertained? Yes, I know I'm not the target audience, but I am preaching on this and I'm giving it a chance. I am somebody who needs to be sold into this world of alternative. And that's not selling me. You have to like, I think AEW fans need to understand that it's like just because they say it's amazing doesn't mean it's amazing. And same with us WWE fans. I can't go up saying, okay, it's really, really great, right? But I know it's not going to appeal to everybody, right? But you can't argue saying you're an idiot. I'm not going to argue with somebody and say you're an idiot for not liking WWE. No. You're an idiot for not liking Cody Rhodes' reign. I'm going to say, well, I'm just showing you what I see, right? And I'm giving both sides a chance here. I am literally in the middle giving both sides a chance. And to me, that is not selling me. That makes me want to turn away and not watch the next pay-per-view or watch next week on Dynamite. It's such a disturbing. Like, obviously, yes, like Colin said, I'm sure. Like, I think at one point when Daniel Bryan's fighting, Brian Danielson's fighting for the bag, that they made the hold there for the air for sure. Because I think in those first like few moments, it looks like that was just full on. Okay, let's make sure he doesn't breathe. Let's actually go. Like, I can see Brian
just
Danielson
to get the steam on the bag for the effect.
I can see Brian Danielson going, you know what? Actually suffocate me, but then let's pretend to fight it off, and I'll make the hold that way. All right, boss, whatever you say.
Because clearly they trust each other. They know what they're doing. And all
obviously,
so,
right? But it's ironic, and I know
disturbing visual.
I can't imagine, like the kid. I don't want to bring up his kids. Actually, I don't want to go that. I don't want to go stoop that low, right? But so I apologize for saying that.
No, I mean, Bree and the kids were not at ringside.
Obviously not, right? But it's scary images, and for me, it's
his kids are young still, so yeah.
And you brought up the comment yesterday, Colin, to me. What's worse, that moment, or Undertaker's WrestleMania 15 moment with the Hell in a Cell with Big Boss Man?
Yeah.
And I can't compare the two because both were so disturbing. I mean, Hangman, oh God, that's the wrong word to use, but Bossman, the way that he was suspended, I'll say. Yes. I'm gonna say suspended to avoid like the triggering word because it does get to me.
Yep.
The way he was suspended, I know it was done safely, but so the image was to me as a kid watching that. I first saw that at my buddy's house. He recorded WrestleMania 15 on a VHS. And that's when I first saw WrestleMania 17. He had 17 and 15 recorded on VHS from the years before. So I'm like, let's watch him. Like, okay, so after school, I would run over to his place, and so that's when I saw WrestleMania 15. I'm going,
what grade were you in?
Oh boy, 2 or 3.
Oh maybe no,
4. Maybe 4.
Oh,
Actually, definitely not 2, because it was grade 3 when I saw WrestleMania 18 for the first time. That was my first ever
Okay.
WWE show. So grade 4, grade 3 or 4. Yeah.
18
So
was your first WrestleMania. Interesting.
Sorry?
18 was the first WrestleMania.
Yeah, I've said this many times. 2000 WrestleMania 18 was that's why it's my favorite one, because it's the very first one I saw, and the fact that it was in my hometown, that just seals it for me as the number one WrestleMania for me. How often is it that your first WrestleMania is in your backyard? So, anyways, that
totally
I don't want to get emotional, but the image of so that young, right? 8, 9 years old, seeing the boss man suspended the way that he was, I'm going, oh god, that is not
the
a
cell raising up.
Exactly. It's disturbing. And with Bryan Danielson, the same thing. His eyes told the whole story.
Yeah.
It's, to me, it's just I don't need that for entertainment. I think I think the heel turn was so effective. And yes, the twisted heel turn. It's my friend who's a big AEW fan as well, who loved the entire card from top to right and said that everything was fantastic and perfect. I'm not gonna go there, but those are his comments.
Me neither. Yeah.
He did say this, and I will agree with this. It is a spot that you will remember when it comes to heel turns, and I hate it, but it's true. And whether it was disturbing or not, whether I found it disturbing or not, it was impactful, because here we are talking in depth about it more than the match itself, and it is a spot that, no matter how you talk about the spot, whether you loved it or whether you hated it, disturbed or encouraged by it, or or reacted positively to it, it did its job.
Yes.
That's what I hate about it, that it did its job. And so, boom, you got it, right? Yeah. The big boss man spot, we can still bring it up. We still bring it up. I'd say it was impactful at the end of the day. Yeah. Sure, it was a very boring Hell in a Cell match at that WrestleMania, but it still did its job. It portrayed Undertaker as a sadistic killer, as a sadistic monster who was possessed by the devil. It worked. I know. I think I don't know. I can't remember if Taker said that the Ministry Taker wasn't his favorite, but my God, was it an impactful character, right? And that is what this heel turn, that moment, is going to be for AEW, for Mox, for Bryan Danielson in the next 5 years. Guaranteed. I hate it. I don't like that. But to me, disturbing image. I was not a fan of it. And here I am thinking, and then I realized, well, that was a disturbing image, and somehow that's not going to be the worst of it. No. Because coming up next in our discussion, and coming up, what showed up after that, was that lights out steel cage match, the unsanctioned steel cage match. All the lights were off in the arena except for the banners, and I knew that this was gonna get ugly. I knew it. I had a feeling, and Colin was extremely bugged by this, that he said that he regretted buying the All Out pay-per-view, which is an astounding thing to say. And again, here I am saying that I don't like the plastic bag spot. You can only imagine my reaction to what I'm gonna say with this next match here.
That spot was like playing with kittens
somehow
compared to what was happening, but for different reasons, though. Well, for me, for different reasons.
Somehow, a plastic suffocating somebody with a plastic bag for a wrestling moment and a heel turn, that looked to be tame. I cannot believe I'm saying that. But again, this is the quote unquote alternative that people wanted, right? It's like, to me, hardcore does not equal alternative. Okay, I guess it is in a sense, but to me, like I said, alternative is what Will Ospreay and Pac did, and I think that's why I'm going to be such a big Ospreay fan from here on out. But a gruesome steel cage match, no doubt about it. Colin, you made me laugh with this comment a lot.
Oh God, what did I say?
With the Prince Nana Luigi Mario Kart death stare was one of my favorite moments of the night. Was that Prince Nana was so angry and serious about it. And here he is still dancing.
He's still dancing. He did it earlier in the week. I can't remember if it was. I mean, Collision Rampage all happened within a 3-hour block. I can't remember if it was Dynamite or one of those, but he did it then too, where it was the Luigi Mario Kart death stare look. But he's still doing the dance. And
I so funny. Oh, I love it.
Prince Nana, man. Like, at first I'm like, okay, we have a dancing guy. It's weird that Swerve comes out all serious all the time, and you've got like a dance number going around him. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I got into it. Prince Nana makes me laugh. It's fine.
But to do what he did,
the Luigi death stare. That should have been the most disturbing thing on the card, but oh my god, it
Oh
was
no,
beautiful.
I loved it. I'm like,
Oh.
that is brilliant. Like, hey, I'm mad at you, but I still need to entertain the crowd.
We got to hit the move. This is my thing. And the
So
crowd,
funny,
oh,
so funny,
anyway,
and then it all went crazy from there.
yeah.
Look, I expected this to be gruesome because I know of the past with those two. The drinking blood was. I cannot believe that wasn't its peak. I don't, and this is what irks me about these things. I don't know how that's not. This is what I think. This is what like, I was bringing up earlier, earlier on this episode. The worry about protecting finishes, a lot. There were a lot of moments in that steel cage match where I'm going, how is this not the moment? What do you need to do? And I wish I didn't ask that. What do you need to do? I know. What do you need to do to end the match? That needle. Feud. Let's just get out of the way.
All right.
That needle was horrifying. I believe.
What the hell was that?
I believe everybody was saying that he drugged him. Can you believe?
Even more horrifying was the chair shot afterwards.
Oh, dude, I felt that shot. Again, I'm reminded, like, there's a reason why WWE doesn't do those headshots anymore. For
that was a Rock Mick Foley chair shot. That didn't like it
at the Royal Rumble, right? At the '98 Royal Rumble.
It's the one where it was too many chair shots.
At the I Quit match at the '98 Royal Rumble, yeah.
Yeah, Rock got carried away, and there wasn't enough for. There shouldn't have been any chair shots. It's definitely, we know that now. But yeah.
It doesn't chairs, they're dangerous for a reason, folks. And yes, I mean, maybe it's a relief that those shots don't happen like the way that it did that often, but I'm really happy
that happen at all anymore.
I want to give props to the AEW TV crew for perfectly executing the switch to the wide camera. That was timed perfectly. Yeah. Oh, okay. Look. Yes.
If you have to do it, that's the way to do it. I guess
that's the way to do it. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the cage blocking the shot, the fence. I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was really good. I thought like the fence, kind of like blurring out the shot and the wide angle. It was done perfectly. I was amazed that they switched to one in time, but the sound. Oh man, it's a sound that I haven't heard in a long time, and
it brought me right back to Foley eating all those shots. It really did.
Well, I mean, not just Foley, but just in general. Like that's a sound that you remember was used a lot, and it led to stuff, right? And it's the hearing that sound reminded me. Somehow reminding me, I'm just going, thank goodness we're not these. It doesn't happen anymore.
I'm glad these things don't happen anymore.
If it had to happen, okay, fine. Don't use that for the next year or two, right? Like
or
ever, yes, or ever. But but they're gonna want to hit. They're gonna want to go there.
Yeah.
But oh man, the sounds that like it's that kind of quote unquote triggering sound that you realize, damn. Like that's something that has that doesn't need to happen again. It brought back a lot of memories with that sound. Maybe not very good ones, or maybe good ones as a kid. I'm going, damn, right? But again, I'm a kid, right? You don't realize the damn head. You don't realize how
we didn't know. That's us. We didn't know.
Like you didn't realize how crucial head injuries are, right? And it scares me. Like it freaks me out. Even when I'm like driving on the road and I see people without helmets on their bikes and I'm going, please wear a helmet, please be safe, right? Like that's where those thoughts go. But the needle was just so gruesome. And again, I don't know what I'm bugged with more, the needle or the chair shot. That's what concerned me. It's just the back-to-back events of like everybody going, it's this cinder block to the back was the way that Hangman clipped the cinder block scared me too, because the scar on his back that's gonna be there for a while, because somehow Strickland landing flat on his back was safer. And I don't know, I can't believe that wasn't a prop cinder block. I've seen cinder blocks in the past just implode on impact. How did I can't believe that was an actual thing, which was insanely scary. The staple gun, I wasn't a fan of that either. But this match was not for me. It's so gruesome. And I know that I've been saying Punk and McIntyre and inside of Hell in a Cell's coming up, and I know that's going to be gruesome too. But I also know that they don't want to go to that lengths, especially Punk with the whole glass thing, right? So I know they're not going to want to go to those lengths.
McIntyre should hit him with a plane.
It put a damper on me. But again, at the end of the day, that wasn't for me. And I know they're fans. I know somebody that they're happy with that, and fine. That's okay. But this is our take, our review here on Ringside Heat, and we just weren't fans because we want safer wrestling for longevity.
Yeah.
Colin, I don't know how much more. I don't know what I've been rambling. I don't know what more you want me to add on to that.
Well, I mean, okay, from my side, I'm a regular watcher of AEW, so I'm thinking, okay, the storyline going into this thing, from Swerve's side, really good setup because the Swerve and Hangman thing just won't end. And, essentially with Swerve's monologues, it's like, look, beat me or don't beat me, I don't care. The thing is, I've already won. There was a part where it's like, I was an amazing champion. People forget Hangman was a champion, was an AEW champion, that kind of thing.
Somehow forget that.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was all that kind of, burn his house down and home invasion. But I mean, Austin Pillman did home invasion with a gun. Like, again, this was not the worst, maybe tied with worst. Anyway, so the storyline was good. The one thing I'll give Hangman is it's the most consistent crazy eyes I've ever seen anybody perform. So, I mean, good on him for always looking insane, I suppose. And for the story, I don't care. I don't care where this goes. I don't care how it ends. I like Swerve. I think Swerve is still really good. Somehow I wasn't sold on Swerve in the beginning. All the stuff he was doing with Keith Lee, I thought was just weird. When they tortured Billy Gunn, that was weird. So there's a lot of weird stuff around Swerve and all that kind of thing. But I do like it's where you could physically beat him, but mentally he's already won kind of thing. So I do like that psychology of Swerve. So that's fine. With Hangman, he's just a sad cowboy, and now he's a crazy, angry, sad cowboy, but he's still a sad and I don't care about his progression and all that kind of stuff he does. But I thought, okay, fine. They're going to do it. I'm not going to care about this match. And then at some point, you want to talk about overuse of false finishes. They're trying to murder each other through this entire thing, but they kick out of everything. How can either of them ever lose a regular match ever again? Like, there's these kind of matches call it a continuity problem or all that kind of thing, suspension of belief, still real to me, damn, and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, give me a friggin' break. Like, it's just stupid. You don't come out of this match with anything
I can see the
positive.
Argument. I can see the argument being, well, they just don't know when to stop because they want to show they're tough. Fine.
But it's the adrenaline. Yeah,
it's the adrenaline. Yeah, thank you. It's the adrenaline in their souls. Absolutely. Yeah. But it's like there's a lot of those spots where I'm going, why? Now, look, I think I will say this. Because you bring up the false finishes. There was at one point the referee trying to stop Hangman with the chair. I'm like, what are you doing? It's unsanctioned. There's no rules. You have to step back. What are we doing here? What?
Yeah, I was making the joke. Why is the ref there? And you're going, well, somebody has to do the pin. I'm like, okay, no pin is working. The ref doesn't need to be there. They're not gonna. Nobody's getting pinned. 1, 2, 3.
The way that the match ended with the knockout. Yeah. Now, do I wish that the knockout was done differently? Of course. But somehow, I think that's, if I had to find a positive thing, that would be it. It's like, wait, that makes sense. That's the ending to this because they're not eating up 1, 2, 3. Nobody's going for 3. Nobody's getting the 3. Yeah. It has to be drastic. Do I like that it went that drastic? Of course not. But and then again, to Colin's point, right? The referee was useless. Right, the referee was absolutely useless, and I think, not that I would have wanted this, but if the match was established first to knock out the other, okay, fine. That that makes sense. Like that's what works for these kind of matches. I don't need the ref.
Yeah.
But again, I don't like saying that's a positive because I didn't like the chair shot and the needle, right? But it's astounding it made sense that was somehow the right ending to that. But yes, the excess.
Yeah.
Look, not liking false finishes, like in matches, like again, like with Ospreay and Pac, what I was saying earlier about like you're worried that the false, protecting the finishes, but then not focusing on false finishes with this, it's a bit much. But
I mean, with Pac and Ospreay, it was all about reversals. So that's where I was saying in our chat too, where I think those false finishes were pretty much earned because their moves weren't working on each other. So they're, and then moves as finishers are not working on each other, that kind of thing. So, in a match full, again, it wasn't the most excessive false finishes for sure. Not even of the night, but in just like matches I've seen across any promotion. So it wasn't excessive, but yeah, there was a lot. I mean, really the thing that made me regret buying the pay-per-view because of that last match was it was unnecessary is like the best word I can think of it. The cinder block spots, the chair shot, this, it like fine, the barbed wire stuff, that's typical.
It's a staple gun. You said
staple gun. I'm like,
they've done worse. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the regular aches and pains of an active wrestler, a staple gun's probably nothing. Just my assumption. Again, my only view is that of the couch I sit on while I watch these things. I have no clue. But yeah, so I'm like, okay, fine, staple gun and all that kind of whatever. But it was just unnecessary. The cinder block stuff was horrifying. Hangman only got scraped. Swerve landed flush. That was as far as I could tell.
Swerve took the better bump.
Yeah, it was a real cinder block. And
I feel like Hangman was not supposed to take it the way that he did. I think something happened there because it looked like he was supposed to land flat on his back. And I at first I thought it looked like he missed it. And I'm like, oh, that's a cool looking miss. Like they made that look real. And then I saw his back and I'm like, wait, that clipped him.
Yeah. Like this match made me angrier than the dumbest stuff Darby Allin has done.
That says a lot.
Right. And and he leaps from whatever. He's worse than Jeff Hardy was. But it's again, it took me right out of the entertainment. Like, okay, the finish with BCC turning on Brian, that was dark. Yes, I completely agree that was dark. Again, I wasn't offended by that. I trusted that those two knew what they were doing in that spot and all that kind of thing. There's only so many things you can do. Like a wrestling move that you've done a million times for whatever reason on a veteran, on somebody who's been wrestling for 10 years, something can easily go wrong. Why are you upping the percentage of something no matter how good you are? And maybe they did cinder block practice. I have no idea. I don't care. Right?
Cinder block practice.
Yeah, it was dumb. It was unnecessary. And a terrible injury or something life-threatening, maybe somebody not walking again, was not worth it for this match.
It's not worth it any ever.
Like the risk is not worth the reward. And that to me, I can watch an entire pay-per-view and be upset by the last match, but you know what? I still had 90% of a pay-per-view I enjoyed.
Yeah.
I want my money back, I think.
I said, if you were entertained by that, great. Like that's
fine.
That's
fine. I don't agree.
We're not like when we react negatively, and I see this a lot, even against WWE, and again the tribalism. I know people are gonna say blah blah blah, the tribalists, whatever. Everything is not everybody's cup of tea. It's not. Yeah. Not everybody's a dog person. Not everybody's a cat person. It's not everybody's a coffee person. Not everybody's a tea person, right? Or water, whatever, right? It's we're just saying that we just don't like it, and we want to be entertained in different ways. If that's wrong, then call your lawyer and sue us, because that is ridiculous. If you get mad over that, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not even purely Ringside Heat's view. This is our view. We're the only two that watched it, but
right?
This is our view. We're not speaking for Johnny or Lex or Chico. This is just what we saw, what we think.
I can't get mad at you for liking that. I'm gonna be maybe I'm gonna be like, Damn, like
I'll
that.
judge you as a person, but yeah. No. And I know Jose judges me with some of the movies I think are just fine.
I can't get mad at you for it. Obviously, I can be
No,
like,
not at all.
yeah, you know, there's like, it isn't me not getting mad. It's me going kind of going, okay, if that's what you like. Well, what can I do? But to me, it's just that's not entertaining. I don't think that's entertaining. I can say that's an entertainment, and I can say that there's other ways to do it. If you're gonna argue with me saying yes, it is entertaining, that's a problem because you're not. We're never gonna get anywhere.
Yeah.
We're never gonna get anywhere. So
and
that is going to. Sorry, last thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah, if AEW is already here in 5 years, they're coming up on October, I want to say 2nd or whatever
Somewhere
that
in the next
Wednesday
month.
is the 5th year, like the fifth year of Dynamite and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, October is the big month where everything is like 5 years old in AEW. If they're already here in 5 years, like, is it full on tactical gunplay at All Out 10? You know, like where do we go? You know,
I did see a post which I did see a tweet from Aaron Rift on NoDQ.com. At what point do we get an AEW pay-per-view where someone gets shot with a gun and kicks out at 2?
I saw that too. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Not wrong.
I mean, it took till WrestleMania 15 for Taker to hang somebody. So
impressive. Impressive. Colin, out of 5 stars, you can include your quarter stars. You can include any decimal point. Out of 5, what are you going to give it?
It was, I mean, out of 5, it was a 4, because it ended poorly, and then, well, no, it ended because it was a 4 because I didn't care about that last match. So if there's a match I don't care about, you're not going to get a perfect score. It became, I want my money back when I saw that last match. So no stars, no whatever. Yeah, I regret purchasing it. This is the first. I've thought all the AEW pay-per-views, especially this year, have been consistently solid and really well done. And this is the black mark for, I think, of all the pay-per-views this year. This bothered me enough. First time I regret ever buying a AEW pay-per-view.
I'm gonna say 4 as well because I don't want to put so much weight on the pay-per-view rating on the last 2 matches, or sorry, on the last 2 moments.
Yeah,
I should say with the asphyxiation and the chair shot and the needle. But I thought everybody else entertained and had fun with it, right? And I don't want to ignore that. Again, like my favorite match of the night, Will Ospreay's match with Pac. That's my 5 out of 5. That's my
match of the year contender.
That's my match of the night, absolutely. So I'm gonna give it 4 because I think everything else was great up until that moment. But I think but that said, I think All In still was the better pay-per-view. So
yeah.
When you compare the alls together, but that
all together now.
But that will do it for us here on the All Out review here on some bonus content on Ringside Heat. Stay tuned again. Follow us on Ringside Heat at Ringside_Heat across all our socials, and of course, we are now on Patreon. So, folks, please, if you're welcome to show us the support, please do. Also, as well, do not forget that on X.
You didn't steal it already.
No, I took the figure in my living room. On X, we are running a giveaway for a Fiend Ultimate figure. Link in the bio below here on YouTube, where you have a chance to win a Fiend Ultimate figure with the chance to get some extra entries. So please, folks, go to the link at the bottom, click that, enter the giveaway, and we're going to roll that on October 10th. So for Colin Dodge, who you can find him at Risen72, I am Jose Tabata at Tabata93. Thanks for watching. We will see you guys on the next weekly episode. Peace.
Bye, guys.